We've seen these green machines all over the internet. Is it worth the upgrade from the Harbor Freight Vulcan? Let's find out.
Built with soul, not just steel.
Well guys, this has been a fantastic first-timer TIG machine. These are normally about $1,100 at Harbor Freight. They do come on sale for about $999 every once in a while. I had upgraded the TIG torch to a CK Worldwide with a flex head, flexible hose, which made a huge difference. The hose these come with are pretty stiff, and they kind of like to kink a lot. So this flexible hose was worth the extra $250 investment. But check out what we got now. We're super excited. We've got another unboxing. We got ourselves a upgraded TIG welder from Everlast. This is the PowerTIG 210EXT. Let's unbox it and check it out. She is. Let's start by taking that box out first. This thing will be sitting down inside a foam. It's got nice plywood all the way around the foam to protect it from getting crushed in shipment. It's too long for my cart this way. No big deal. We'll just turn it sideways. The typical workbench is across the way here anyway. So we'll get that turned sideways, but we'll go ahead and get the handles on. We'll open this guy up here, see what we got. Okay. Pretty simple to get these handles on. They're curve. It's gonna flow with the curve. Use an Allen wrench, pull these two bolts out, then those bolts will go down through. Next up is going to be your 4 bolts. Take these out. You'll put your large center handle. Pretty self-explanatory there. Okay, all said and done with the handles on there. That's how it should look. This thing is awesome. It's got a screen to protect all your functions. We're going to go through this. We'll do some test runs. So this cart, what's nice about this cart is it fits 2 machines this way, or depending on the machines, it'll fit 2 to 3 this way. What I've done, I've recessed the Hobart Handler MIG welder back to allow this vent to breathe, because there's vents on each side. The Hobart itself only has a vent in the front and in the rear here, and then there's the bigger vents for the Everlast. So this can breathe freely from both sides, not interrupting on the cart. And that's how it's gonna sit on the cart. We've got to get this all dusted off and cleaned off. That little Hobart will also be in the link. That little guy, for being a affordable MIG welder, I actually like it better than Lincoln. Okay, you have to bear with me. I was using my regular cell phone for the initial unboxing, so this is a day or 2 later now. But here are our torches. So we do have a really nice denim cover. And this is going to be our 9 series torch, real small, really good for thin stuff. Now these switches, some guys like them, some guys don't. I've never used them before. It's basically on, off, or you can set it up to where it's on, off, or just on, off, like I mentioned. So this is your smaller, thinner material torch. We do a lot of thin sheet metal stuff, so we'll likely use that. This is more for our bigger welding. This is a Series 26 torch. Again, it's got a switch on it as well. And you can just cut off the zip ties and take the switch off if you're not going to use it, so it's not like you have to use it. You still have your good foot pedal here. One of the awesome features about the Everlast 210 is it has the built-in power port for the water cooling system. So if you ever did decide to upgrade this to a water-cooled torch, it's already preset for that. So, you know, we don't do a lot of welding, so I don't know if we'll ever upgrade to that, but if the need arises, it does have that capability. So we are going to use the 26 torch today. We'll get this set up. I want to say it's probably 8 to 12 feet. I mean, this thing's pretty long that they give you there. Again, it is already the flex hose. You don't have to buy a flex hose separate, which is amazing. And we got our heavy duty clamp. So we'll get this thing set up, we'll get the pedal out, and we'll give this thing a test run. Okay, real simple. Your strap, we want to call it a ground strap, but it actually goes into the positive side here, and then it just goes in and you twist to the right to lock. We're just going to ground it to our bench for now. And then same thing here, this just twists to lock in the negative side there on the left hand side of the machine. And then your quick connect for the air line. Again, line up your tab, place it in there, twist it over until it's locked, and then your quick connect. There you go. Now your torch is in the machine. We're gonna go ahead and get this torch set up. Since this is a review for a brand new machine, I'm not gonna use my accessories. Here I have some different size cups and gas lenses and stuff like that, but we're gonna use what comes with the machine, so you can see that you can get started right away on day one as long as you got a tank of argon, which sold separately. You can get started right away with TIG welding. Start practicing and learning. Foot pedal is really nice. It's got a really nice grippy surface on it. It also has a grip surface on the back. It's a little bit less grippy, but this should help it from sliding across the floor. Some guys take this off because they like to be able to kick their pedal around, but this should help you keep it from moving away from your foot. As for the connector, self-explanatory. It's got a keyway right there. Gonna put it into the machine. Keyway goes on my machine straight towards the bottom. And you'll thread it in. And that is all set up. So let's get the torch set up over here. We'll switch cameras. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get this torch set up. We're gonna grab the kit that came with the 26 torch. We'll set our small torch supplies just off to the side for now. Okay, so it's pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory, but we'll walk you through it anyway. So let's go with a medium length cup here. I'm gonna say, or sorry, medium size cup. I'm gonna go with a size 6. We're gonna grab our collet and our wedge. Let's see what size they gave us. And so when you're putting these in the gun, you want to snug them down, but you don't want to go crazy, crazy tight. So what I normally do is I just go finger tight, and I grab my pair of pliers, making sure not to grab the threads. We want to grab right here on the serrated area, just a tiny snug, nothing crazy at all. So that's what that'll look like. And then your cup, your size 6, you see this plastic cup here is beveled, and this is beveled. So it actually goes this way. And what that does is that allows this tapered in to seal off for the gas to come through. So again, when you're changing out to different styles of torches, you'll get a new plastic piece depending on the style of torch. If you're using a Gaslin, this design won't have a bevel. It'll be flat with a little lip. So something to be aware of. You gotta make sure you have the right little white piece here for the type of adapters you're using. We're gonna look for, currently I am using 3/32 tungsten. So we're looking for, okay, so 3/32 is 2.4 millimeters. So we wanna use the 2.4 millimeter. So I don't know if you can see it, but 2.4. So that can get dropped into our fitting there. This is a brand new stick. I use the green. So I kind of watched a lot of videos. This is just my personal preference. I've used a couple of different colors. I find for me, the green seems to work for everything I do in the automotive industry. There's lots of different reviews out there on YouTube on why you should use what color after what, but I found for me personally, green seems to be pretty universal for my stainless steel, my chromoly, aluminum here and there, and even my mild steel. So what we're gonna do is we drop the collet in there, or sorry, the wedge. Since we're using a full stick of tungsten, we're gonna put the long cap on. This allows for the long piece to sit inside. We're not gonna tighten it all the way down because we need to go as brand new tungsten. We need to go and sharpen this. I tend to sharpen mine at about a 30 degree. Okay, pretty simple. You got your rear cap loose. You're gonna feed the tungsten with the point facing out through the wedge. Because these are brand new wedges, you may need to, what you may end up needing to do is pull it out, run it past your tungsten once, and then it'll allow for easier movement. Quick little tip. Usually, the amount of stick out is equal to the distance of the cup. It's a good rule of thumb, especially when getting started. You can also up your gas pressure, things like that, but I just kind of eyeball it. So the stick out is equal to the width of the cup. Once you're satisfied, go ahead and lock down the whole system. That's nice and in there for you. Let's turn this thing on for the very first time. Oh, switch it back here. Okay. Breaker is on. System is on. Got a really high powerful fan. It's currently on stick. High frequency TIG. This is our amperage. So we can select the trigger or the pedal. We're going to go to pedal. And then we have pulse mode. What's nice about this machine compared to the Vulcan, one, I think this is a little bit more user-friendly interface, but also it has a feature for gas purge. So we're going to test that feature out because that's something the Vulcan didn't do. And so let's turn our gas on. Okay, our argon is on now. Before, what you used to have to do is you used to have to hold your torch out, step on the pedal, and then watch your volume and adjust from there. So now, and this gauge here is got both CFH and SCFH. So we're going to go ahead and just hit the gas purge. And now we can dial it in without having to worry about it. I'm just going to go to 30 arbitrarily, and you can just shut that back off. That is an amazing feature on this machine. A clean workpiece is key. I just kind of wipe these off with a little bit of alcohol and a rag, and then you want them to evaporate. This is a 1/16 stainless steel. It's a test coupon from Weld Metals Online. We got some let's see, what number are we using? 308L, ER308L for our stainless rod. This is also 1/16. So we're gonna set up the amperage, and we're gonna do a practice run with and without pulse, so you guys can see the pulse feature on this. I just like to start with their guidebook, and then as you get dialed in, you can kind of fidget with the amperage, but for their recommended amperage here, so amperage range is 5 to 70 amps for 1/16 stainless steel. So that's what we're gonna do. And its recommended cup number is 4, 5, or 6. We got I believe a 6 on there now. So flow rate is gonna be 6 to 12. So we'll adjust that way down. It's way up high right now at 30. So we'll adjust that now. Okay, so we got our gas set to about 15. We got our amps set to 65. So now what we want to do, this is going to be our slope, our post flow, I should say, in seconds. So we want about, I usually run about 4, on thinner stuff, about 4 seconds of post flow. Pre-flow, I usually do about 0.3 to 0.4 of 1 second. Starting amps, we're going to say 3 on the starting amps. Safety equipment is key for any welding job. I like to use Defiant Metal and also this Sentinel A50 helmet. It's a little bit older of a model, so it's a little less than the new ones. I believe they're on the A60 model now, but ultra clear color, auto darkening features, batteries last a really long time. So if you're interested in any of these items or the welder itself, this Everlast welder, it's in my affiliate links down below. These help propel the shop forward and help bring you guys content at no additional cost to you. Thanks, guys. All right, we're gonna use the pedal. We're not gonna use any pulse. We're gonna see how this thing welds. This is the very first fire up. Really good penetration. Heat affected zone is nice. Now, I'm by no means a professional welder. I'm self-taught, but that is stainless. Now, there is a little bit of gray inside here. So I think a little bit more gas flow would do us better. So I'm gonna bump the gas up just a little bit, just to kind of get some of that gray out. But as you can see, that is really, really good. Really easy first time use, very happy with that. All right, same thing here. We're just gonna up the gas volume just a little bit. I do have to say that this thing arcs up off of the plate here. A lot better, cleaner arc, steadier arc than the Vulcan by far. The Vulcan's a great machine, don't get me wrong. But this thing is just smooth. I don't know how to exactly explain it, except it's very buttery. The arc is just stable the whole time. I found that with the Vulcan, the arc kind of searches a little bit. So again, nice, beautiful welds there. Or set to 70 amps, DC, pedal controlled. Again, I am no professional welder, you guys, but that is one nicely stacked dime. I could probably drop the amperage a little bit. The heat affected zone is a little wider than I'd like to see, but you can see we got really good gas coverage. So now I'm going to show you guys what the pulse setting can do on DC. Okay, so we're on, verify you're on DC here. We're at 70 amps. What we're going to do is we're going to select pulse. So we want to go to pulse, standard AC DC. We remained on DC. Now we want our pulse on time 50% of the time. You can adjust these as you see fit. Go back to that. Pulse amperage, 35% of the highest amperage. So 70 is our highest, 35% of that will be our lowest on the waveform. And pulse frequency, we're going to go up to, we're going to start with around 100. If you push in on this dial, you can skip by tens. So we're going to start out around 100. Don't worry about downslope for now. Post flow, 5 seconds. All right. We'll make sure this resets to our 70. And I'll show you guys some pulse welding. So the difference with pulse welding is you're just going to hold the pedal down and the machine is going to pulse the voltage for you instead of pumping the pedal. So it does help for prettier welds a lot of times if you get your settings right. Again, I'm no welder. I'm self-taught, but this machine so far has a way better arc and stability than the Vulcan. I noticed that the Vulcan kind of searches around. It's still strong, but it kind of searches around for the arc, for good contact. This, it just, I mean, you can see that bead width is perfect the whole way. So this thing, for just firing up and testing it a few times, it's been awesome so far. All right, starting with the pulse. Again, we got it at 50% of the time, 35% of the low, or the amperage, and at 100 pulses per second, that's the frequency. or the hertz. So let's try it. It's so fast that you can't even really see it in real time. But to show you, look how much thinner that bead is. Beautiful coverage. Everyone loves those rainbows. Good penetration, both welds. So, but you can see our puddle is really tall. It's sticking way out. Again, if you're doing something like artwork, that would be great. But, you know, for strength and stuff, I might want a weld that's a little bit wider, you know, so you would just mess around with your settings there. So again, first fire up, showed you a couple little test pieces. The first real weld right here. And I have to say, this thing is so far amazing. Let's mess around with that just one more time. Let's change the pulse settings just a little bit. See if we can widen out that bead. We're gonna add a little more heat, I think. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to pulse time, we'll leave it at 50. We're gonna go pulse amps on the low side of the frequency. We're gonna set that to 50, so it only drops to 50%. And then we're gonna change the frequency down to 75 times per second for the pulse. And we'll try that. We're just gonna see what difference that makes for us. Again, we're just kind of testing this out, nothing special today, just to show you this is a great starting machine, plus it can handle industrial work. So we got a little bit more heat affected zone there on that particular one, but our bead is still standing up pretty prominent. So by increasing the heat, we increase obviously the heat affected zone. So for me personally, what I would do is I'd go back down to at least 30 to keep the temps down. And then maybe for deeper penetration, maybe go in with a little bit more starting amperage, or maybe changing the frequency a little more. I feel like this got taller and we reduced the frequency. So let's increase the frequency one more time. Let's go back down to 35 and see what it does. I know I'm off camera, but here you go. We're at 50% of the time. We need the amperage. We want to set that back down to 35% of the high. And our frequency, let's jump it up to 175. Okay, so we're basically going the opposite direction with frequency now. If you guys are loving this content, check out our Patreon. We're trying to build a like-minded community on Patreon. It also helps us finance and move forward with the business. So anything you guys join up on really helps us out, but we want to get involved with you guys directly, and that's the place to do it. But you get, I mean, YouTube videos are dropped with no ads, no commercials prior, about 2 to 5 days prior to when they drop on YouTube. We got digital downloads on there, behind the scenes footage, depending on what tier you're on. We have communities that allow you to show pictures and comment and talk, and just check it out. Check us out on Patreon. You can hear the change in the machine's tone. Oh, dipped it right there at the end. Okay, so that's the secret there. It's actually a pretty nice looking weld. You can see here, it's the heat affected zone stayed roughly the same as this one here, but the weld itself sunk into the base material a little better. So the higher the frequency, as you can see, the higher the frequency, the more it penetrates into the stainless here. So it laid a lot flatter, especially near the end there, as our first one that I did with pedal control. So this machine will go all the way up to, I believe, 250 on the frequency side. So we're at 175 right now. So yeah, look at that, guys. Again, I am not by any means a professional welder. I've been TIG welding for about a year, and out of that year, I've probably only used the TIG welder 15 times, maybe 20 times. So all self-taught, and you can see this machine, and you can just hear the machine. It has good connectivity. I mean, this is stainless steel, guys. I know everyone wants to build exhaust, stuff like that. Again, if we were going any thinner than this, I'd probably be using the smaller torch and a smaller piece of tungsten, but right now we're using 3/32 tungsten. So let's give it a go on the AC side before we end this video. Okay, so we're gonna switch on over to AC. So that's gonna be this button here. We're gonna AC square form for now, and then there's soft square, which gives us a little bit more, I don't know if you can see that, but a little bit more round. So we're gonna try soft square. We're gonna leave it on pedal. We're gonna turn pulse off. Amperage wise, when you're working with aluminum, a little bit higher. So we're just gonna go to like 120 amps. I think I got a 1-inch or 1/8-inch plate aluminum, a little scrap piece to show this out for you guys. So our AC hertz, again, we're just gonna start with 100 for now. This is a brand new machine, so I'm not sure what works best on the machine, but we're just gonna go for it, and we're gonna see how it all comes out. So the balance, the cleaning action. So we want the cleaning action because aluminum is very, we're gonna start out, let's say 35% of the time, we want it to be switching to that negative. And I think that, you guys, is it. Okay. Again, I'm just doing kind of generic settings. All right, we're working with aluminum. Really got to clean it. So we got this little scrap piece. It was test welded on the old Vulcan. I was teaching my pops how to mess around with it because he bought the Vulcan from me. So we're gonna use this same piece. We'll flip it over. We got it wire brushed real quick, cleaned up. We'll grab some aluminum filler rod. I think I have a scrap sitting right here. Again, when you're doing aluminum, this is gonna be AC welding. So we got pedal control, we got pulses off. So got it set to 35% cleaning action, or the negative side. Not sure if that's gonna be enough, so this weld might come out brutally ugly. I'm not sure, but this is raw footage for you guys. We're just going for it. Okay, so we're not even penetrating the aluminum. So we need more amperage. We were at 120 amp. Let's go up to 165. See if we can get it to penetrate it. So with aluminum, it creates basically an oxide layer that's why it has that shiny surface, but you need more amperage to pierce through it. Once the puddle starts, then you can continue to walk the puddle, but you have to get it to convert to a puddle. So let's try this. Nice. Okay. Okay, yeah. So, it's hot. So, as you can see, you can see there, the puddle started. We were able to move. We were able to put some filler rod in there. However, we were starting to get really hot at the end. So I'm going to change the cleaning action a little bit more. I'm going to bump it up another 10, clean my tungsten, because my tungsten got hot. And then we're going to try it one more time. Let's go. All right, we actually dropped the cleaning balance down to 25 and dropped the amperage down. We're going to go that direction first. So I think I like that buildup better. You can see the nice shine, but I wasn't controlling the pedal well enough. It started to get real hot, it started to get real wide, but that initial start up there looks really, really good. So again, this is probably I did this with the Vulcan ProTIG 205, and I kept burning through this corner, but I mean, I got decent welds, but I've probably only practiced with aluminum. Surprisingly, this is probably my 6th or 7th time. So I'm giving you guys, again, this is real beginners footage, just why I chose this machine, why I chose to upgrade to this machine. But you can see there, that's a really good looking puddle. Mess around with your settings, but you can see, beginners, you can practice with aluminum right away with this machine. I think it's a fantastic machine. So there you guys have it. A true first test of a very entry-level welder. I mean, I do okay, just because I've been around welders, but I am not by any means the best. But I hope this review really gives you guys an in-depth look at how good this Everlast 210EXT is. Again, I went from having my very first TIG welder, I went down and paid about $11.99 at Harbor Freight for the Vulcan. It was a good starter machine. However, I had to upgrade the hose right away to a flex hose. That was $250. Bought more adapters, more of this and that. Well, by the time I did that, I was in at almost $1,500. This is $1,600 at the start. Comes with 2 different torches, already flex hoses, really nice sheathing on the hoses. I think the arc is way more stable. I'll try to find, I don't really have any arc pictures, but I'll try to find some earlier YouTube footage of the Vulcan in action to kind of throw in here as a montage. But personally, I think this is a better option, a better starter machine for somebody that's going to be going into the fabrication industry. If it's just for home use, I'm not going to argue the fact that the price of the Vulcan and its usability is great. Honestly, it's great. Though, for me, with this performance fabrication shop that I'm building, I wanted something a little more industrial. Now, I do have an affiliate link below for this specific welder. It's no extra cost to you, but if you decide to buy one, check out the link. It's through Amazon. I got mine. It told me it would be here May 2nd. I ordered it on like April 3rd, so it was like almost a month out, and I got my welder personally from our April 3rd, and we got it like about 8 days later. So it took about a week to get in, which, you know, if you have a Harbor Freight and you want it now, you could go down buy a Vulcan right now at your Harbor Freight. But again, if it's something you're passionate about, invest the few extra $100 into yourself. And this is definitely recommended by a very beginner welder, but highly recommended. This is JP Street Performance, where dream cars are built, not bought. From the first cut to the final pass, I'll catch you guys on the next project.